Hi everyone, Ezra here, and I hope you're all having a good day today. Today I'm going to read you another book about an animal from the Santa Barbara Zoo. It's called How Lucky Got His Shoe by Karen B. Winnick, about a special penguin who got a boot. And I hope if you loved the story about the Jamina the giraffe I read to you, you're going to love this one about Lucky the penguin. By Karen B. Winnick. At the Santa Barbara Zoo, Lucky, a Humboldt penguin, waddles around the yard, hops up and down the rocks, swims in the pool, and makes funny noises, like all the other penguins in the colony. But there is something different about Lucky. He is the only penguin at the Santa Barbara Zoo. Maybe in the whole world, who wears a shoe. Here's how Lucky got his shoe. A baby Humboldt penguin was going to hatch at the Santa Barbara Zoo. His parents were taking turns warming the egg. Rachel, the penguin keeper, was watching closely, checking underneath the parents in their burrow several times a day. Early in the morning on April 15th, 2010, Rachel arrived at the zoo and hurried to check. She saw a chick covered in soft gray down feathers. He weighed a little more than 3 ounces. He was half the size of Rachel's hand. Before everyone was excited because each hatchling was important. Humboldt penguins are vulnerable in their native Peru. Rachel fed fish to the parents. Each one took turns coughing up their half-digested fish. They pushed it into the mouth of the hungry chick. The baby penguin ate and ate. He grew and grew. Coarse, waterproof feathers began to appear on his wings. They soon covered the rest of his body. The baby penguin was ready to walk out of his burrow, jump into the water and swim. But when the chick walked, he dragged his right foot in an unsteady shuffle. What was wrong? Rachel wondered. Veterinarians took x-rays. He doesn't appear to have an injury, said one doctor. The chick's foot is not developing normally, said another. The baby penguin continued to drag his foot along the ground. His skin became scraped. The doctors and zookeepers paddled and wrapped his foot to protect it, but it didn't help. They tried putting a splint on his foot. Rachel took it off and went swimming and put it back on when he came out. Because he limped, she carried him to the water. Later, she needed to help him back out. The penguin chick's foot grew worse. More sores developed. They became infected. Then he couldn't swim at all. His life depended on it. A protective shoe was once made for an elephant with foot problems, remembered one zookeeper. A protective shoe might work, said Rachel, if a shoe could be made for a big elephant. Someone must be able to make a shoe for a little penguin. A company called Teva was right in Santa Barbara. They made specialized shoes for in and on and around the water. Their design team agreed to help. They came out to the zoo and observed the way the baby penguin limped. They studied his foot, how he dragged it, and put pressure on his joint. While Rachel held him, they measured his foot and then made a mold of it. "We'll make a perfect shoe for this lucky little bird," said one of the people from Teva. "That's a perfect name," said Rachel. "From now on, that's what we'll call him. Lucky is lucky because we all care so much about him." Teva made drawings and models. They tried different materials. Finally, they made a small, hard shoe to hold his foot firmly in a natural position. They came back to the zoo to fit it on Lucky's foot. Lucky held his foot up. He refused to walk. "We need to come up with something that works better," said one Teva designer. "But what?" another asked. They experimented with more materials and different shapes and styles. Weeks later, they brought a new hand-sewn shoe for Lucky. It was soft and cushioned and made a special new waterproof material that dried quickly. Carefully, they fit the shoe on Lucky's foot and secured it with the strap. Lucky took a step, then another, and then Lucky took off. He walked and walked and walked. He waddled all around the yard. He hopped up and down the rocks. Rachel led him out to the pool. Only one penguin paid any attention to Lucky's shoe. He pecked it. With a splash, Lucky jumped into the water. "Hooray!" Rachel, the zoo staff, the Teva people, and everyone else clapped and cheered. And Lucky swam around and around and around. Lucky became famous. From all over, children and parents came to see Lucky in his shoe. Someone made a song and a video about him. Magazines and newspapers published stories. He even appeared on television. Lucky had shoes in many colors. He has special shoes for different holidays. Teva has promised to keep making shoes for Lucky all of his life. That's how Lucky got his shoe, and his name, too. The end. I hope you enjoyed that fun little book about a special penguin from the Santa Barbara Zoo.